Welcome to I Care, I Volunteer, a special series focusing on volunteerism in Peel Region. I'm your host, Adrienne Beaudry. So today's topic is on volunteer recognition and National Volunteer Week. And over the course of today's program, we'll be speaking with representatives from Volunteer MBC, the local volunteer centre serving Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, the Ontario Volunteer Centre Network, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peel, and the YMCA of Greater Toronto. So joining me now is Volunteer MBC Executive Director, Carine Strong. Welcome back. We have Sharon Clark-Kufis, the Manager of Marketing, Communications and Membership. Also, Cody Palmer-Almond, who is from the Ontario, he's the Ontario Project Manager from the Ontario Volunteer Centre Network. So thank you for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So as we get started, I think it's important that we start a little bit about Volunteer MBC, what the organization is, what you do. So maybe Sharon, you could share that with us.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, we are the local volunteer centre, and as you mentioned in the opening, we serve the Peel region, so Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. Our core service is a volunteer matching service for volunteer placement within the community, and we do that in various ways. We do have an online database that's available 24/7, and we have almost 200 community agencies that will regularly post their volunteer opportunities with us. We also have 3 convenient locations, so people can come in and meet with our referral team, and we can help to find that match. And we also have an email service, so people can email us, so that we can kind of go through the email service and be able to send them some links to volunteer postings that might be of interest to them.
Great.
I think another important aspect is we also have our training center for service excellence. So we do offer training for volunteer engagement professionals. We have training for volunteers, for board of directors, and so they're available all throughout the year, and all that information is available on our website.
Great.
And then of course the advocacy piece. So we do a lot of outreach in the community, going out to the schools, going out to different volunteer fairs and letting people know about how they can get connected with the volunteer opportunity and to be able to give back in many different ways, using their skills and talents and their passions. And we're here to help and to be of service in that way.
That's wonderful, and I know with Volunteer MBC, recognizing and working with volunteers is so vital and helping to provide that infrastructure in the community. So I know that Volunteer MBC has a number of volunteer awards that you provide annually, so maybe you can talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our Volunteer Recognition Awards program, and currently we have 9 different categories that are available, and it ranges to be able to recognize people who are engaged as board of directors, young leaders, people who are involved as Change the World kind of volunteers. It's a program that's across the province to encourage youth volunteeering. We also have a newcomer category, so for people who are new to the community that are doing exemplary efforts in terms of giving back their skills and the talents. And then what we also do is that we have a ceremony every year so that we were able to recognize them publicly. So organizations can start submitting nominations, usually in January of each year. The nomination process opens up, and people can submit that information to us, and we have an awards judging committee that reviews them, and then we have our ceremony, as I mentioned, and we present the awards to the individuals who are recipients.
Great. And so can people nominate themselves, or does that have to go through an organization?
Yeah, it should go through a nomination process through an organization, and then we always ask the organizations to give some of the highlights as to why the person is deserving of that recognition. If they have examples, testimonials, it's really about making sure that we're able to really glorify the amazing contributions that these individuals are making in the community. I should add too is that we also have a volunteer spotlight section on our website. So individuals who want to share their story with us, we do have a volunteer writing team that can interview them and capture their stories, and we can put it on our website. We have our e-newsletter that goes out to volunteers that would be featured there as well.
Great.
So there's many different ways that we recognize volunteers, because we really truly believe that volunteer recognition is important and letting people know the good work that people are doing.
That's fantastic. And I know, Carine, not only are you the Executive Director of Volunteer MBC, you've been a lifelong volunteer, and volunteering is part of who you are. Why is volunteer recognition important?
I think it's really important. A lot of volunteers, they do it because they really want to give back, but the recognition part is important twofold, for the individual themselves, but I think also very much for the potential to encourage other people to volunteer. And you know, I don't care what anybody says, but being recognized is important for your efforts. And you know, we at Volunteer MBC, we have a lot of volunteers ourselves. We engage close to close to 400 individuals on an annual basis, which is pretty astounding. We definitely would not be able to accomplish what we do without our volunteers, and we treasure them and really, really value them. And one way to really show that appreciation is certainly, you know, by recognizing them, but also to thank them every time they come in.
Absolutely. And we talk about different types of recognition. Sometimes it's often the little things. It's saying hello, it's making sure there's something meaningful for the volunteer to do when they come in. But then sometimes people are also very strategic in volunteering, that they're engaged with an organization because they want to get work experience or skill sets that they want to develop. So maybe, Cody, can you tell us your role with the OVC, and you're involved with PREB, and it's an incredible program. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it's a really exciting program. We launched in April of 2015, which was really exciting for us to officially launch the program and be able to have it take place all across the province of Ontario. Certainly Volunteer MBC is a wonderful partner in that project. And it's really a chance to provide personalized official certificates of recognition to volunteers. And it's for skills-based volunteer opportunities, so it's a chance to highlight tasks, activities, skills, special training that are part of a volunteer placement or a volunteer experience. And it all is housed on a standardized certificate, which is very valuable for a number of different specific audiences, as well as volunteers in general.
Excellent. Have you had some feedback from volunteers or from organizations who have been using PREB-Ontario to provide certificates?
Well, one of the great things about the project is we were actually able to launch it as part of the Para-Pan Am Legacy Initiative. And so we were able to recognize close to 24,000 volunteers from the Games with these personalized PREB certificates across the province, and actually across the world. We have volunteers that took place all across the world that received them. And now it's available to nonprofits across the entire province of Ontario through their local volunteer center.
That's excellent. And so for our friends who are working for organizations, if they want to get training or they want to access PREB so they can give that to their volunteers, how do they do that?
One of the best ways is to contact their local volunteer center in their area, or visit our website, ovcn.ca, and use that as a way to locate their volunteer center that serves their area.
That's great. And I was a Pan Am volunteer, so very excitedly printed off my PREB certificate, brought it into the office and shared it with everyone.
Absolutely, and I think we were able to share your picture out in the stratosphere of social media, so thank you for that.
The interwebs are incredible for that. And so I think, we just sort of have a minute left, and there's so much we can talk about when it comes to volunteer recognition. So maybe a last thought or two about the importance, the value, what we can do to help volunteers understand the incredible value that they bring to the community. Do we have another thought?
I think it's regardless of what your ultimate gain is that you get or you want to achieve, being able to really look at part of the recognition as part of the whole aspect of getting recognized in the community, and being able to really demonstrate, whether it's for work opportunities to try and enhance your resume, or even to get a promotion at work. You can certainly do that through a PREB certificate. And so we're really looking forward to this new era of the skilled volunteers that are coming with significant skill sets. Absolutely. But they have to be able to demonstrate it, and the PREB certificate is a wonderful way to do that.
Well, our time is over. It's so quick, and I want to thank each of you for coming in and sharing your passion and your enthusiasm, and hopefully encouraging others to get involved as volunteers and to check out their organizations for that PREB-Ontario certificate. So we're just going to take a short little break, and we will be right back with I Care, I Volunteer here on Rogers TV. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer. Joining me in studio now is Lori Plati. She's the Public Relations Manager for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peel, and Ben Butler, who is Group Mentor of the Year. That's a fantastic title. Did you make up business cards yet? You should. But your LinkedIn profile has got that wonderful. Excellent. Well, thank you both for joining us here today. And we've been talking about volunteer recognition, and I think it's so important. Most of us who have volunteered, whether we say we want the big accolades or not, that recognition is so important. And so maybe we can start, though, a little bit by talking about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peel and what your organization does and who you are. So maybe, Laura, you can tell us.
Sure. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a mentoring organization for children and youth that are between the ages of 6 to 17. We provide service to 1,500 children through 11 different mentoring programs that we offer in the community now. We've had a lot of changes over the last few years because one of the main things that we try to do is address the changing needs of our community. So that's why we've introduced so many different programs. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. They think of the traditional one-to-one mentoring program of, being a big brother or big sister and meeting up with a child for a few hours a week. And now we have so many different opportunities where there's our conversation club for new Canadian youth, where they can help practice their English conversation skills and get some help with homework and learn about some Canadian traditions and that kind of thing. And then we have programs like our Big Bunch program, which is essentially a program for children on our waiting list where volunteers can just sign up for one activity per month. And so it's just a few hours a month. So it's really nice to have that range of different opportunities for people to choose what best suits them for volunteering and to best meet the needs of the children in the community.
That's wonderful, and we're sort of hearing that trend that organizations are recognizing volunteers are looking for different ways to get involved, and that's wonderful that you're adapting to that. And so Ben, Group Mentor of the Year, so tell me, what does that mean?
Well, it was pretty flattering to realize that I was the recipient of the award this year. Definitely meant a lot to me. I mean, nobody joins a group like this for the accolades or for the, for that, that kind of recognition. But absolutely, to receive it was an amazing experience.
Great. And so how long have you been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So 6 years now, it's been great. Lots of good years, lots of interesting people that we've met, and it's been a real great experience.
Excellent. So how did you get connected to Big Brothers?
So I think actually originally I saw an ad in a newspaper, and my wife had actually worked with the agency a few years previous to that, and encouraged me to check it out, and I did, and really was a great opportunity for me, fit my schedule. The group program, which is what I'm involved in, was perfect for my schedule. Once a week we meet, and I pick up the guys, bring them to group. We have a great activity together and take them home. So it works into my schedule very easily.
Nice. And have you been doing the same thing this whole 6 years?
Yeah.
That is a long time with an organization. That's really incredible. Yeah,
no, it is. And for me, like I said, it's very easy. We have a lot of fun. We really enjoy the kids that are part of our group. All the bigs participate. We all enjoy it just as much as the littles do. And
your bigs and littles?
Yeah, exactly. That's the terms that we use. But it's a really great environment, great group of people, and really rewarding.
Great. So what does a week look like when you're meeting?
Sure. So typically we'll have a planned activity, which can be anything as usual as maybe just going to a gym, playing dodgeball or basketball or soccer or something like that. And then we have other special weeks where you have something a little more exciting. As I was mentioning, the idea of this past week we actually did battle archery, which was a lot of fun.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, you can imagine the chaos that ensued. But no, it was a really cool experience, and even for me, it's kind of fun to do some of those activities, get exposed to to activities you normally wouldn't. So that I really enjoy that aspect too. But so typically we pick up our guys, bring them to the activity. Interact with them. The car ride over gives you a chance to connect with them a little bit to do. I mean, because it's not a one-on-one program, it's a little less intensive in that sense. But you've got lots of time to connect with the guys and you know, the activities are always fun, and so it's a good mix of activity and one-on-one or one-on-two time with the guys.
That's great. I've got some great visuals as I'm thinking of battle archery.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to have to Google that tonight.
The mentors in that program definitely have equally as good a time as the kids in the program. I have witnessed that before.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That's good. And maybe tell us about some of the volunteers who are part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, whether in this program or other programs. You mentioned that you have lots of different opportunities.
We do. We have 1,300 volunteers within our organization right now, so that's just huge. And they're all such wonderful people doing a variety of different things. So that's everything from assisting within our 11 different mentoring programs to assisting on our board and different committees and helping us with different community events that we do. Our volunteers go through, anyone who's involved in our programs goes through a screening process, and then once they're accepted, then it gives us a chance to interview them and get to know them better, to discuss what program's the most suitable one for them and what we feel they can really manage within the other things that are going on in their lives.
Yeah.
So we present all the different opportunities to them, and then, you know, together see what the best fit is for them.
And does it always have to be once a week, or can it be a more...
There's lots of different flexibilities, so that's again what we look at is like what they'll realistically be able to commit to, because most of our programs we do ask for a commitment of 1 year. A really great fit for a lot of people is our in-school mentoring program, because that's for the school year. It's 1 hour a week during school hours, and you go into a local school and mentor a child. So they're usually taken out of class, and you'll do things like play board games and chat, maybe bake, and it's just a chance to connect with the child and, you know, help to build their confidence, help them to learn some new skills, and just feel better in general about going to school, something for them to look forward to that day. And it's a great opportunity to chat with them about things going on in their lives and just assist them in whatever way you can.
That's wonderful. And so with such a large base of volunteers, and I think both of you can provide a really great perspective from a volunteer, from an organization, why is it important to recognize the contributions that volunteers make?
Well, what's so nice is I think that realistically, none of our volunteers expect to be recognized. But it's such a pleasure as an organization when we see the amazing work that they do to be able to say thank you. And for them to be able to realize the difference that they're making in their community and that they have such a tremendous impact. So being able to do things like we do, we recognize all of our top volunteers at our gala in September, and have all kinds of special awards that are given, which of course Ben was a part of this year.
Excellent.
And it's just nice. It's a great event where they get to go up on stage, be recognized, and feel special. And you know, it's just great. And we also give out years of service recognition awards as well.
Great. And Ben, would you add anything to that, or from your perspective as a volunteer?
You know what? It was really cool to get recognized, and I ended up my wife and a couple of my close friends came out to the gala, which was it was a really fun special night for me and you know for a couple of very close friends of us. So you know, I think that was a really neat experience to you know, been able to receive that award.
That's wonderful. I think, you know, our community is only ever strengthened by the contributions that volunteers make, and especially with such great organizations that we have here. So I really appreciate both of you coming out today and sharing your story. And it sounds like sounds like fun. Sounds like
lots of fun.
And they can just send you an email or give you a phone call to connect and find if people are interested in volunteering to connect in.
The best thing is visiting our website, and you can even download an application right on our website and find out all about all of our programs.
Easy breezy.
Super easy.
Good. Well, thank you so much for coming out today, and thank you for joining us. We're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages from I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Yay. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer. Joining me in studio now is Donna Morrison. She's the Acting General Manager of Volunteer Development for the YMCA of Greater Toronto, and Joshua Scott, who is the Supervisor Programs Volunteer Coordinator at the Mississauga Burnham Thorpe YMCA. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
That was quite the mouthful, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So I think a lot of us are very familiar with the YMCA. We've heard about your organization, but for those of us who may not be as familiar, maybe you could start us and give us a little information about who you are and what you do.
Well, the YMCA of Greater Toronto is an organization that a lot of people think of us as gym and swim, but we have lots of opportunities in other areas, and certainly in volunteering, and so we would like to be able to share a little bit of that with you today.
Please do. So where do you engage volunteers?
Great. So we engage volunteers in our child family development program. So we have a school age child care center that we're always looking for volunteers to help out, and that is before and after school. Yep. And we also have a toddlers program, which is from 7 to 6 o'clock during the day. Okay. Always looking for help. And also, if you have a special skill, such as a yoga instructor or music or art, we'd love to have you come in and spend an hour to share with the children. We also have a program with ECEs, which do our college placement students. We do a great opportunity with Sheridan and with Humber, and so we offer those placements and really are pleased to train those. We have an employment and community program, and we're looking for workshop facilitators and resource center job developers, and also our newcomer program. We're looking for help there too.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Josh is going to talk about the...
Well, at the health and fitness centers there, we're always looking for people to help out with our aquatics department there, helping with teach our swim lessons for kids. There's opportunities in child, youth, and family programs to help out with the gym programs, assist staff in setting up and taking down of programs, helping us achieve our goal of keeping the kids active throughout their days. We do have membership opportunities as well, help greet people into the facilities and help create a nice environment for people when they come into the facilities.
That's fantastic. So how many volunteers-ish annually do you have engaged with you?
Currently at the Mississauga YMCA, we'll run about 330 volunteers coming through right now, and last year we did a total of, it was just over 17,000 hours in our fiscal year.
So that's a lot of volunteers, a lot of people to say thank you for. So how do you recognize the contributions that the volunteers are making to your organization?
Well, the one thing that we like to do is each year we do like to recognize everyone through either birthday cards, or we do have emails that will go out and trying to keep a personal touch. One of the big things that we do like to do is also recognize those volunteers in the field when they are with members. So our personal touch, introducing them to the members and making sure that their contributions to our programs are also valid. We also do a volunteer during National Volunteer Week. We sometimes will run barbecues for the staff, and we bring them all in, and we just want to make sure that the staff are also supportive of the contributions that the volunteers do to help our programs and us achieve our goal.
Wow, that's great.
We have some other exciting opportunities that we offer for our volunteers in recognition. So in October, usually the month of October, we'll have a volunteer conference and annual recognition ceremony. Great. And so what we ask Josh as a volunteer coordinator is to find outstanding volunteers within the group through, and then provide a nomination form. And then we have peers that read all of the nominations. We had over 65 come in this past year, and we were able to honor 10 Outstanding Achievement in Volunteer Awards. And we bring them all together at our central YMCA, and then we have a conference. So we're giving volunteers an opportunity for professional development too.
So what does the conference look like usually? Is it
well, usually we have about 2 or 3 sessions volunteers can sign up for, and there's something like CPR and first aid, how to motivate. We have the aging brain, and we have a number of fitness opportunities such as bar fit and more of the traditional group fitness training that we provide. And then volunteers are able to take advantage of learning something. It's all free to them. We provide lunch. We also had a motivational speaker this past year.
Nice.
Fabulous, fabulous. Yeah, really fabulous. And the volunteers are very psyched about it, and it's all for them. So
that's great. So very much volunteers. The contribution is benefit to the volunteers, benefit to the organization. When you're doing all these, and it sounds like you have a lot of different ways that you recognize volunteers, what's the feedback from the volunteers? What do they tell you about? Do they like it? Do they wish you do something different? Well, it sounds like you're doing quite a lot.
Yeah, most of the volunteers that we have come in there, a lot of them are coming just to give their time to the community and help out and give a little bit of feedback there. With our young students that we have, a lot of them are looking to achieve their 40 hours for their high school. So we work with them and we bring them up. We have a number of programs that also help support them reach their goal. So we give them some guidance into how to volunteer within the field and help their program. So once they finish that, they also get a letter from us that states their contribution, what they've done, that they can provide to their school as well.
That's great. That's great. There's a lot of benefits, it sounds like. How do people find out, or where are you looking most for volunteers right now if people are interested in joining?
Well, we find the way people would actually get in touch with us, they could actually go into the facility, any of our child care centers in Peel. They can go into our health fitness centers, our employment centers, and they can ask about volunteering opportunities, and then we have an online application that they would fill out and submit. Or if you would find out, say you're not sure exactly what you want to do, we recommend you go to the website, you look at the opportunities, and we list all that's available, and they could click on it, look at the job description specifically, and then fill out an application that says exactly the times that they're available, what the skill they have, and then what they'd like to do. And then it goes through to, it's called volunteering at YMCA GTA.org, and then we respond to you. Some of the concerns that we might have with that is that we do have a 4 to 6 week processing time period, and so specifically, Josh was will say around June, when all of the teenagers need their 40 hours. There's quite an influx of wanting to get in the door right away. But with our 4 to 6 weeks process, sometimes we're not able to accommodate them.
So what should people know before they apply to volunteer with the YMCA?
Most of the volunteers, one of the standards that we do have is that if they're 16 or up, they do need to get a valid police background check or vulnerable sector search. And then through that, we do try to make sure that everyone goes to our volunteer orientation, where they get the policies and procedures review, and they go through certain steps there and give them the information so they know how to make a choice as to where they want to volunteer, because it's very beneficial if we can put them in an area where they're going to succeed as well, so that helps the association as well.
That's fantastic. And we talk a lot about the different types of recognition, and we often think about cards and whatnot, and those are valuable as well. But I think what you're doing as well with the trainings and the orientation and that, this does conclude Season 2 of I Care, I Volunteer. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our partner, Rogers TV, and to all the amazing volunteers who lent their time and talents in helping us to produce this show. We couldn't do it without you. A special thank you to you, our viewers, for tuning in. And just as we couldn't do without the volunteers here, we can't do it without you, so thank you. So if you'd like to learn more about volunteering or Volunteer MBC, please visit us online at volunteermbc.org. And we look forward to seeing you again soon on I Care, I Volunteer here at Rogers TV.